All right, I was done making videos for a while. I took a break because I just wasn't feeling it. But this pissed me off enough to where I was like, okay, I'm gonna write this huge thing. And I was like, nobody wants to fucking read that shit. It'll take forever. So I'm making a video, all right, because this is fucking important. This is exactly what I mean when I've been talking about like Israeli propaganda, and how it just feeds into the U.S. And you see who it comes from, APAC, right? Which if you guys don't know what that is, like the American, what the fuck is it? The American Israel something. I forget exactly what it is, but it's literally Israel's lobby in America, right? And just a short story about that. Every foreign country who has a lobby has to register in the United States, right? Every foreign country. So say if our super allies, England, like who have fought side by side with us in several wars, like in Iraq and stuff like that, Israel never sent fucking troops there, right? But we fought next to our British brothers and sisters. Those if they want to have a lobby that will helps fund, they can lobby people and fund campaigns, they have to register as a foreign lobby, right? So that any money they give to somebody is tracked and people can see it as, okay, this came from a foreign lobby. So say for instance, somebody gets a bunch of money from a British foreign lobby and then later they seem to be more helpful towards like Great Britain for something, and it might look sort of shady. People will be like, well, they got a lot of money from them. That seems kind of like it's not in America's best interest. You know, this is from a foreign lobby. Israel is the one and only country in the entire fucking world that doesn't have to register as a foreign lobby. And they are also the one and only country in the entire world that funds every single person besides a few in Congress and the Senate and presidency as well. And I mean like 95% of them. There are only a few. And the few are the ones that you hear that wanted the Epstein files released. They're like, release them immediately. Like Thomas Massey and like Ro Khanna and shit like that. And Marjorie Taylor Greene. They wanted the Epstein files released. Do not redact them. Show us what's going on. We want the truth. Every other Republican and Democrat voted against that, right? And the president himself. Remember, he told you he went on the Epstein files. He ran on the Epstein files. Then he sent who are those people, YouTubers or whatever, out with binders. This is the first release of the Epstein files, and we're going through them right now. And yada yada yada. And then like the very next day, he's like, "No, those are a hoax. It's a Democrat hoax. Doesn't even exist." Why do you think that is? Somebody paid for him. And why do you think it would be that all these people who are backed by Israel didn't want the Epstein files released? Well, now that we've seen the Epstein files, there are many connections and mentions of him being Mossad, working for the Israelis. So go fucking figure. Anyway, this is from APAC, that Israeli lobby that doesn't have to do anything. And if you read what it says that since October 7th, Iran has attacked 100 times. They've attacked the U.S. and its allies, and killed people and wounded them. Right, bro? That is the trickiest, fucking, slimiest little statement I've ever fucking seen. Right? Iran has not attacked the U.S. 100 fucking times. It's attacked Israel 100 times, right? It's attacked Israel 100 times. The one time Iran attacked our people in uniform was after we fucking blew up in a massive explosion that rocked the whole fucking earth in their area. We leveled their entire nuclear facility. You know what they did? Because they didn't want to fuck with us. They shot back a few missiles, like a missile barrage, towards our bases in Iraq, and they missed. Right? It was a nothing. It was their way of showing face with their people, like trying to remain strong. You know, like, yeah, we return fire or whatever. But it was also their way of like, we have no beef with you whatsoever, none. Right? They don't like Israel, of course, because for a lot of fucking reasons. Israel, I'm not gonna talk shit about Israel because you can figure it out yourself. I don't like them. The government of Israel, I don't like them. They are very shady, and I just explained one reason why. But this is a perfect way. They're manipulating you. This is Israel trying to manipulate you. They're trying to get into your heart, and they're assuming you don't read the fucking news and you don't pay attention, and they're assuming you're gonna look at this and go, oh my gosh, Iran has attacked us over 100 times and they killed people and hurt people. Fuck that. Yeah, because we're getting ready to go to war with them right now. You want to know why? Because Israel wants us to go to war with them. Israel's the one that sent us to war in Iraq. Israel's the one that sent us to war in fucking to fight against Syria, to destroy fucking Lebanon. All of it. It's all Israel. They're just fucking assholes, honestly. But what bothers me about this is that now people I know, people I care about, people you care about, are going to go fight in this war, just like I fought in fucking Iraq, right? And they're going to go fight in this war because somebody on the news now has said that Iran attacked us, right? Somebody now. But like I said, has Iran, look it up, has Iran killed any U.S. servicemen since October 7th? None. None of them, right? Sure, they've shot bombs or they've shot rockets into fucking Tel Aviv, and you know, like they usually fucking do, and they shoot them and they fire back and shit like that. That's what they fucking do, you know. But they have not. It's a fucking dude. It's so slimy. They have not attacked us 100 times. It's so shady, dude. You know what I mean? What are they? Have you ever seen those memes where it's like LeBron James and what's his son's name, and Bronny James combined tonight for 75 points? You know, like they dominated, and then it shows the breakdown, and it's like LeBron James 74 points, Bronny James 1 point. That's what this is. They're like, it's no different. They're just attaching the United States. What it should say is Iran has attacked Israel over 100 times and killed people since October 7th, right? That's what it should say. But what good does that do them when they want us to go to war for them, right? They're not sending people. They never have. They never sent them to Iraq. They never sent them to any of the fucking wars. The IDF, right, is a Israeli defense force, right? And although, I mean, it goes out into Gaza on patrols and stuff like that, it's a fucking defense force. All they do is protect themselves, right? And get us into wars. We're their bitches for wars. So like I said, people I love and care about, you know, and it bothers me. People are like, why do you even care? Because, dude, like, God forbid, like, my little fucking niece or something like that, you know, I've got little nieces, and what if they get brainwashed by this shit? You know what I mean? What if, for some reason, they decide they want to be patriotic and go fight? You know, what if my little niece right now, she's not old enough, but what if she was, and she's like, she sees this, and she's like, you know, Dad, I want to go join the army so I can go fight, and she becomes an MP or something, and ends up over there, right, and dies. And it's like, why was she even over there? Well, because her family, a bunch of other people saw this post, and other people share it and stuff like that about all the people Iran has killed that are, you know, in the U.S. or whatever. It's a lie. It's all the same shit, dude. It's they manipulate us all the fucking time, man. Yeah, it doesn't stop. That's what it is. There's one other thing I was gonna say, but I forgot it. So, whatever. But it's important that we understand this, right? Because we should not be going to war with Iran. That was what I was going to say. You want to know who has killed 6 Americans since October 7th? Right? Civilians, not even fucking soldiers, not people ready to fight war. You want to know who has murdered 6 Americans? Israel. Yeah. At least 6 Americans since October 7th have been fucking murdered by the IDF. There you go. We should be going to war with them, dude. Honestly. Not Iran. Oh, dude, one other thing, too. Like, this is, from, like, a religious perspective, everybody is, like, you know, all the Muslim extremists and stuff like that. It's stuff, you know. I'm going to tell you one thing, just so you understand. Muslims have extremists, right? Christians have extremists, right? Jews have extremists. One thing I'm going to tell you, though, is Muslims, right? You don't know what they believe? They believe in Jesus, right? They believe in your Savior. If you're Christian, they believe in your Savior. They don't believe that he was the savior, but they believe that he was like a holy man. He was very precious, right? They at least believe that, right? You want to know what the Jews believe? They believe that your savior is burning in hell in shit because they believe he was a false prophet and a false savior, and that he is burning in fucking hell right now for that, right? So I want you to understand something. If Christians and Muslims were to understand that they actually have a lot in common and were to become friends with each other, the one true enemy then would be who? The Jews. You want to know why? That's why they can't allow us to ever become friends. They have to do everything they can. So like everything they fucking do is about perpetuating this idea of evil Muslims, right? And like I said, you can call them conspiracy theories or not. There's some things, if you want to look into, you should, dude. You should look into the 5 Mossad agents that spent like a whole month inside of the World Trade Center before the bombings, and then afterwards they lived there. They did some stupid art class or whatever. But anyway, it gave them access to all the fucking elevator shafts and stuff like that. And then look up the firefighters who were on the ground and policemen who were on the ground who swear they heard multiple explosions as the buildings fucking collapsed in on themselves in a controlled demolition. They swear this, right? Their testimony is there, but it's just been buried so that nobody will ever see it, right? And then those 5 Israeli Mossad agents were caught on top of a parking garage on the other side of the river, I think, or the other side of I think that must be New Jersey. I don't really, I've never been there, so I don't know how that works. But on the opposite side of the water, watching the towers, and they're standing there beforehand, videotaping it, and they watched everything happen, and they were cheering about it, right? And they even got arrested because it was so obviously how they know it was going to happen. They got arrested. They spent several months in the United States. Till somebody who was very pro like Zionist kind of helped get them released and sent back to Israel so they wouldn't have to deal with anything here, and he shut down the investigation. And when they got back to Israel, they told Israeli TV, because they're pretty famous at this point, you know, they were on Israeli TV, and they told them that they were over there so they could document the event. Look it up. They were over there so they could document the event. How are you going to document the towers blowing up and being destroyed if you're not fucking there, or if you don't know that it's going to happen ahead of time, right? And then all of that got blamed on all these people. Osama bin Laden, fucking Iraq, stuff like that. There's, depending on what you want to believe or not, there's people have said that Osama was like, I didn't have anything to do with this, right? But that's a who knows, you know, maybe who knows. I'm not even going to go into that. I'm just going to go into fucking what I know and what I've seen. Fucking, like I said, I've seen all the fucking documents. They're there. Look them up. You know what I mean? You can see the video transaction or the video proof of the policemen and firefighters hearing controlled demolition. You can see the video about them, these fuckers staying in the building beforehand for an art class or whatever. Like, you can see it. It's there. And then what happened? We went and fought a war with all these countries. They were Israel's enemies, right? And Israel is the one that sold us information on all of it, on fucking weapons of mass destruction, you know, all the nukes that we found in Iraq and stuff like that. This is their shit, dude. You know what I mean? So anyway, and Iran doesn't have nukes, right? We stopped. They don't want them. But guess who does have nukes? Israel, right? And guess why they have nukes? Because when President Kennedy told them that they couldn't have nukes, they weren't allowed to, and he was going to shut them down because he knew they were making them in secret, right? A month later, he gets killed, assassinated, and his vice president, LBJ, I believe, who's very pro-Israel, immediately when he got into office, reversed all that shit and said, please, build your nukes, right? Seems kind of fucking coincidence, right? The Mossad is very, very good at taking people out. They've been doing it forever, right? Pager bombs, anybody? Pager bombs, you know, that's who we're dealing with. Just remember that shit. I've ranted for long enough.